If you still fixate on the seeing, the knowing, that is not it. That's not useful. You better enlighten and not stuck with the knowing, the seeing. It isn't about my committed fully to release and release, let go of that release. My step back from my that is not grasping on my. It isn't about my or not my simultaneously with the samsara. Enlightened and help enlighten for the samsara simultaneously. Together at once, within and without, inner and outer, enlightened and enlightened for the samsara simultaneously. If you're still going on, enjoying the knowing, the seeing, you are facing difficulties. You're receiving karmic difficulties all the time, because in itself the knowing, seeing are the karmic difficulties. And you also link with the karmic difficulties of the samsara. So you will always have difficulties. You always facing difficulties. If you still stay with the knowing, the seeing, like the way you are having now, having difficulties, so you better, it isn't about my or not my constantly, so that you go beyond the knowing, the seeing, that is let go of the letting go itself, release that let go of the releasing, the blooming that let go of the blooming. That is the benefit for the samsara and you, to release and liberate it for yourself and samsara, every particle of the samsara simultaneously. It isn't about my. It isn't about grasping or not grasping. Fully committed. Use the reminders that dissolve themselves. Otherwise, you will feel difficult and facing a lot of karmic difficulties. You have to carry the weight of karmic difficulties. Knowing is karma and karmic difficulty in itself. You have to dissolve the knowing by. It's not related to the non-relating itself, not to cultivate the knowing. There is a knowing, let it be, but don't cultivate it. The seeing as well. It isn't about might or not might. Whatever, how you're going to use the knowing, the seeing, you better dissolve them. It isn't about might or not might. Make this conclusion to dissolve any knowing, seeing that happened. Might, step back from mind. Not related, step back from not relating. Not just the idea of not relating, or mind has to step back from mind. This is the idea that let go of the idea itself. And together with the samsara, with every particle in the samsara, that is to enlighten and enlightened for the samsara simultaneously, not before or after, but simultaneously all at once. He is the essence of original truth, which has nothing to do with before or after, only the delusion that assume it up to have something before or after. Something that isn't related to the non-relating itself, has nothing that happens before or after, It has nothing to do with within or without, because it's not related to even the non-relating itself. That's why it has nothing to do with any of those. Have this great compassion, recall the reminders to end for the samsara and for yourself simultaneously. If you don't use the reminder to dissolve the reminder itself, it will stay and remain in your body, in your mind, and crystallize, block, crystallize the delusive attachment that attach in the body, in the mind, become thicker and thicker. Once on the delusive attachment crystallized within you, it becomes thicker and thicker. It isn't related to the non-relating itself. Cannot hang on to anything, cannot attach to anything. Nothing can attach to it. Something that isn't attached even to the non-attachment itself. Something that has nothing to do with attached or not attached. You only have delusion in trying to attach and not attach to things later on. That is delusion making you assume this up. It isn't about attached or not attached. Recall that you only are deluded. Assume up this idea, creating, attaching, and not attaching later on. That is the delusion of ideas that you assume up. The delusion create the idea of attached and not attached. Something that isn't about attached or not attached. That is the truth. It isn't about mine or not mine. Great compassion, reminder. Use them carefully. Don't be attached to words and language. I adjust the language to make it plainer and simpler, make it easier. It is great compassion. Recall the word everything. Once you recall everything, the conclusion to end for the samsara will be linked with everything in the samsara, to dissolve both within and without simultaneously. Otherwise, you will fixate and obsess with your daily life, your daily routines. Everything, think of the word everything. It isn't about mine or not mine. That is to release and liberate for everything all at once. To end the ending for everything. It isn't about mine or not mine. That is to end the ending simultaneously. Renounce even the renouncing. It isn't about mine or not mine. It will end even the ending simultaneously. It isn't anything to start and finish. It isn't anything that will arise and cease. It isn't about that system of having something arise and cease, not something to start and finish. It has no system. It isn't about arising or ceasing of anything. It isn't any system. It isn't any system. And it isn't about any path to enlightenment. It isn't anything at all. Something that is not related to the non-relating itself. It ends even the ending. That's why it isn't anything at all. It isn't Nibbana. It isn't the path to attain Nirvana either. It isn't what you think it is. There is no such thing as the path to enlightenment or the path to Nibbana. There is such path only when you have delusion. Because you have a delusion, that's why each and every one of you have and your own way to reach Nibbana. You all have your own path to attain Nibbana. If there is no delusion, you won't have any path to take on to attain Nibbana. It isn't related to the non-relating itself. If you end even the ending, if you end on the delusion, even the delusion to end something, if you end that as well, because it ends the ending itself. If you dissolve even the delusion of trying to end things, trying to end things is delusion. It has to be to end the ending itself, that is you having no more delusion in trying to end things. It isn't related to the non-relating itself. Together with the samsara, enlightened for the samsara, have great compassion, imbalance with the samsara, don't have to wait for the Buddhahood or the Buddha's time in the future, but become the essence of the Buddha's time here and now and forever. It isn't related to even the non-relating itself. It isn't related to both relating or not relating. It isn't about starting and finishing anything. It isn't about attaching or not attaching to anything. That is the essence of enlightenment. Embrace that essence here and now and forever. Don't have to wait. Become the essence of enlightenment and help the samsara here and now and forever. Don't give the essence of enlightenment to anyone, but you yourself enlighten samsara forever. Don't leave the job to only the Buddhas and his followers, but enlightened for the samsara forever, here and now. It isn't related to the non-relating itself with everything now. Not attached even to the non-attachment itself with everything. You are deluded in waiting for a certain time, waiting for the Buddha's time. How long can you wait? It isn't about my or not my. Recall that. Enlightened. For the samsara, conclude the essence of enlightenment. For the samsara here and now, don't have to wait for any Buddha's time to come. How long can you wait? Become the essence of the Buddha's time here and now and forever, on and on. It isn't about my or not my. Together with everything, recall that. To conclude and dissolve the samsara. And if you go beyond lightness and heaviness, you won't have any more burden in trying to attain nibbana. Don't compose yourself, don't contain yourself. Everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta. Don't have to compose yourself. It isn't about my or not my. Release, not holding on to release. Attach, not holding on to the attachment. Let go, not holding on to the let go. Everything, not holding on to anything. Blooming, let go of blooming. Release, let go of release. Emptiness, not holding on to emptiness. You are going all over the place with practicing because you still want to attain something from emptiness. It isn't about empty or not empty. That is to have no more attachment with emptiness. You are deluded in trying to maintain the emptiness, trying to have the emptiness. It isn't about empty or not empty. Have no more attachment to emptiness, either to being empty and not being empty simultaneously, enlightened for the samsara and yourself simultaneously.